How do you photogrammetry scan a large outdoor wall using just your phone? And what if you don't even have an internet connection? In this RealityScan Mobile tutorial, I'll show you how to capture an outdoor environment using RealityScan Mobile in standard mode and turn hundreds of overlapping photos into a textured 3D model. I'll show you how to move the camera for proper parallax, maintain enough photo overlap, capture large flat surfaces, and add extra coverage where you need more 3D detail. We'll also look at how lighting and repeating patterns like brick can affect photogrammetry, and how to capture enough information to build a 3D environment that can be used for virtual production, rendering, or digital backgrounds. Let's start the scan. I'm going to use RealityScan to capture this outdoor scene. I want to get this whole wall. As you can see here, it's a sunny day, but all of this wall that I want to scan is actually in the shade. That means I have nice, even lighting, so I don't have to worry about harsh shadows creating discrepancies in the photogrammetry scan. I'm going to press the plus mark in RealityScan, and I don't want object mode. I'm going to use standard mode because I don't have any data connection, so I can't use AR guided mode. I'll click continue, and then I'm going to go ahead and just start capturing. I want to move along the wall. Notice how I'm moving to the side with the camera. I want to make sure each of these photographs overlaps by at least 60% to give the photogrammetry software algorithm in RealityScan enough information to reconstruct a 3D mesh. I want to get a bit of this corner. It's not that important, but just to give it some tracking information. Now I've moved a bit lower and I'm going to continue my pass. As I move along, I'm moving to the side, giving everything parallax, so the software can translate where each piece is. I don't want to pan or rotate the camera in a single position. This will give bad information to the photogrammetry algorithm. So I'm just going to go down and shoot upside down, so it's a little bit easier to get this lower part of the wall as I move along in a parallel fashion, taking photos from different positions in space for photogrammetry. If you have a cell phone that can take photos by pressing one of the volume buttons, that is a lot easier than having to tap on the screen. We also want to get some oblique angles to help it understand the depth and perspective of the wall. And once again, I want to move across the wall at different heights parallel to the wall. Now I'm going to get an angle shooting down along the wall and at the corner here, so I can have some nice ground elements included in the photogrammetry scan. Unfortunately, I don't have the AR guidance, so I can't evaluate the strength of my point cloud, but I will go ahead and try to get this higher section. Just moving along, taking pictures with at least 60% overlap, giving that parallax information that the photogrammetry software needs to make a 3D mesh reconstruction. All these bricks don't have so much three-dimensional depth detail, but there are some sections of the wall, such as this outlook cover, that I may want to get in a bit more detail to give it more three-dimensional depth. So now I can treat this as an individual object, like a normal photogrammetry scan. Trying to get good coverage, remember, every point has to be seen from a minimum of 2 different photographs. I also want to get some more details around this door. Again, creating that parallax by overlapping the photos and moving the camera to a new physical position in space. Now I'm within that 50 image limit, so I want to make sure every new image counts. And I'm going to try to get some of the details of this door handle with my last images. It's always a good idea to get a few shots from a little farther back, just to get some context. That helps with the tracking and the reconstruction, especially on walls like this brick wall that has a lot of repeating information that can confuse the photogrammetry algorithm in RealityScan since it's so repetitive. Now, once you've hit your 300 photo limit, go ahead and press to the right. Label it. This time, I'm not going to create a watertight mesh. I want it to be a high-quality mesh, and I might as well go ahead and create a smooth mesh, and then I'll press Process the Project in RealityScan Mobile. It will create a point cloud. Here you can see it did much better getting points for tracking on all the bricks, and a less good job on the smooth surface of the door. This is common in photogrammetry, and if you have a critical image or object that you need to scan, you can put dirt or special sprays to capture that reflective object. But I think this is good enough for what I need with my photogrammetry scan, so I'll click Next. And then I need to rotate it so it is straight. I can rotate here, and I can also choose the bounding box. I don't need a lot of extra space back here. So I'm just going to get a little bit. I could go all the way to the back wall, but I really didn't spend time covering that with photos. So right here should be good, just to get a little bit of that corner in the final mesh. Then I'll look from other angles and just make sure I'm getting the parts that I want. I'll drag this out a little bit this way. I think that looks really good. So then I'll click Ready to Process. I gave my project a name of Outdoor Wall, and it still remembers my setting from before, so then I can click Process Project. And you can click out of the app or go capture other projects while you're waiting for it to process. You don't have to wait. Once RealityScan is finished processing your project, click on it. It will download and load your model. Here we can see that we got a pretty good scan of this outdoor area. Of course, if I zoom in, there's going to be imperfections with different parts of the light fixture, but from a distance, this looks pretty well, and we can move it back and forth, and it will work really well for a backdrop in a simple virtual production environment, because it has all of the texture information, and it just needs to be in the background. I could continue capturing more elements of the scene or combine it with other photogrammetry scans to make a really interesting 3D environment. Once I'm happy with the scan, then I can click Export to 3D Model, and then I can export it as a zip file that contains the 3D mesh as well as all of the texture information. Happy photogrammetry!